Hey everybody, the purpose of this video is to go over a quick review of paraphrasing and quoting for you guys. Since we're going to be doing some research, it's going to be important for you guys to be able to paraphrase and quote some of your different information. So let's talk about some of these. First, here is why we want to use these. We want to do it to incorporate research into your writing because you don't want to have plagiarism, you don't want to get in trouble for anything like that, and you want to give credit where credit is due. This is also the time that you will be using your parenthetical citations that we've already talked about. So let's first talk about paraphrasing. This is a way to put the author's ideas into your own language. When you're paraphrasing, you want to make sure that you do not use the same words as the author. You want to change them up. Unless there are no synonyms to this word and it's such a specific word, there's no way you can change it up to anything else. That's the only time that you can use the same word. You would want to vary the sentence structure. So if the original starts with, I thought about this, you would definitely not want to start off with, I thought. That's just not going to work. And you try to make it the same length as the original text. Unlike summarizing, where you are shortening everything up, paraphrasing, that's just not the way that it works. And then, as always, with any research, you want to include a parenthetical citation. So here would be a paraphrase. We got the original wording. I'm giving you the citation and, blah, 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 blah. And you would change all of the words. And then the important part is right here, that parenthetical citation. So let's look at a couple. If this is the original text, Philadelphia Eagles fans are considered some of the most passionate and loyal in the NFL, but they are also regarded as some of the league's rudest fans. And here, for a citation, I've given you an author, but there's no page number because this was from a website. Let's look at this. Philadelphia Eagles fans are thought to be some of the most excited and loyal in the NFL, but they are also considered to be very rude. It has a correct parenthetical citation, but there is a major problem. In fact, there are several major problems with this paraphrase based off of the criteria that we went over just a second ago. What are they? Can you see them? It keeps the same sentence structure, it keeps the same words, and everything is even in the same order. When you're doing a paraphrase, if you are just changing up a couple words here and there, like changing the word considered to thought to be, that's not a paraphrase. That's trying to cheat the system. Let's be honest here. So let's look at a different one. Taking that original text that we just did and changing it to this one. Although they are often thought to be enthusiastic and devoted, aficionados of the Philadelphia Eagles are frequently viewed as disrespectful. Again, you have a correct parenthetical citation, and this one is much better. You've got a different sentence structure completely. This pattern is completely different. It even changed the word fans to aficionados. It does not start with Philadelphia Eagles. This is the chef's kiss, the creme de la creme of paraphrasing. Now, I'm not saying that you have to use the word aficionados. I'm just saying that this is the type of thing that you will be wanting to do whenever you are paraphrasing. Let's look at another. Philadelphia Eagles fans are so wild that police arrested a fan for allegedly punching a state police horse in the face. True story, by the way. Turns into, in fact, one devotee of the Philadelphia Eagles hit a law enforcement horse and was then apprehended by the cops. This shows how rowdy their followers are. It's about the same length. It changes up the sentence structure. You've got a perfect parenthetical citation. Awesome. So now that we've talked about paraphrasing, let's talk about quoting. And this is the one that seems to be the most popular for students whenever they are doing their research. So let's just dive right in because a lot of things are going to be similar. First, the major change is that you are using the author's exact words in your own writing. You don't have to change anything up, which is probably why it's more popular than paraphrasing, because you don't have to think as much as soon as you have the structure in your head. You have to include a parenthetical citation. That's going to be for all research. So this is what would make it different. So you have the original blah, 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 just like we did before. And then the quote, you keep the blah, 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 blah. You still cite it, but there's a couple things that you can notice here from the original wording to the quote. First, you do not have a quote that is just hanging out by itself. You have to introduce it in some way, using according to, or based on the reading, on page whatever, for example, for instance. Those are all great ways to introduce a quote. You will also notice in this that the entire paragraph, all the blues, have not been chosen. Instead, just the most important part has been taken. So let's look at one, just like the Philadelphia Eagles example. They're so wild that police arrested a fan for allegedly punching a state police horse in the face. Here, notice they did not take the entire quote, and it has a lead-in. If you don't have a lead-in, it's called a dropped quote, and dropped quotes make people sad. Instead, always have an introduction, then the quote. And that's kind of what I've got for you. There is nothing crazy about paraphrasing and quoting as long as you can follow these simple things that we have talked about. If you have any questions, make sure to just let me know.